welcome Christine. I have Christine here. She is a client of mine. We've been working together for the last 6 months on her health and wellness and her regulating her nervous system. So welcome. Do you want to, first of all, Christine, just tell me a little bit about yourself? Like, what do you do? What's life look like for you?
Yeah, no worries. Hi, Janet. I'm Christine. I'm 40-ish-year-old and I'm a mum of teenagers. So I have a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old who keep me really busy. I also work full-time in a pretty complex and challenging job where I work long hours, and there's there's a lot of pressure in the role as well. I have a diagnosis of ADHD, and I also have a diagnosis of complex PTSD. So my life is super busy, pretty stressed. I don't have a lot of time poor like everybody else. And that pretty much sums up who I am.
And so what was it that, what were you coming to me for before we worked together? What problems were you working through before we worked together?
Mm-hmm.
Or wanting help with, more to the point?
Yeah. Well, when I come across your ad, for me, I was at a point in my life where I had tried so many things to lose weight. So losing weight was a big key thing for me. But I had tried every diet and I'd done so many different things that just weren't working for me. And to the point where I had pretty much given up on that idea and decided I was never going to diet again. What struck me about what you were offering was that it was around wellness. And that was something really important to me because I had lots of gut issues at the time. I always had issues with digestion. I was pretty stressed. I couldn't lose weight. I just had so much trouble with that. So the focus for me was around my physical health.
Okay. And so was there anything in particular that we did together that really helped you, like that you found really effective?
Yeah, well, for me, look, working with you was amazing because in the past I had done lots of stuff that, was really focused on an end goal. And what I did with you was focused on the process. So while I wanted to lose weight, I was focusing on that result of losing weight, and I wasn't really spending the time focusing on why I wasn't losing weight or what the problems were for me. I felt like I understood the concept of being healthy. I didn't really know it. Yes. And for me, it was a transformation around wanting to care about myself and caring about myself enough to want to do the right thing. Yes. I was in these patterns of self-sabotage where I really wanted to lose weight or I really wanted to be healthy and take care of myself, but my lifestyle and my stress and my trauma would get in the way of that. And I would get to a point where I would think that goal was so far away that it wasn't achievable, and I just want to do something to make myself feel better right now. Yes. And for me, that was eating, it was drinking, it was sometimes smoking, and anything I could do just to feel better and get out of the stress of my life. Yep. And I've got to a point now that when I'm experiencing that level of stress and when I'm having those feelings, that I actually want to take care of myself. And I really see myself differently now. I think for the first time in my 40-something years, I really care about myself and I care about my future and I care about my body. And I have, I've made these huge changes to my life, and they haven't come out of desperation for wanting to lose weight. They've come from actually valuing me as a person, valuing myself and caring for myself. And that's been the biggest transformation for me.
What results have you had so far? Like, since we've been working together, what results have you seen? What changes have you seen? What results have you had?
Well, in my body, I have had significant improvement in my gut health. So I find that I've had huge improvements in digestion. It just makes me feel so much better. It's increased my energy. I'm not so tired all of the time. It's given me I feel more, even I know this might sound weird, but I feel more flexible, like more agile, a little bit lighter, not so bloated and full all of the time. But as a consequence, without really focusing on it or trying, I've lost a fair bit of weight as well. And that has been something that, I've been stuck for a very long time, and it's been something that has just happened. And I think that's through digestion and just through making better choices. And also that consistency that comes with taking care of yourself and wanting to do things for the right reason. And I think the other side of improvements that I've had has really been this emotional side of things. And, setting boundaries in my life that, without feeling selfish, wanting to do things for myself, being okay with that, taking care of myself, and building really respectful relationships with people, where I'm getting as much as I'm giving. And that's been a part of all of that whole development of self-worth that's come from this process, and just understanding me and my needs and what I want and what I deserve and what I value in myself and what I should expect others to value in me too.
Yeah, beautiful. And it's such a big shift, and it's just coming from the right place, rather than, because usually when people start working with me, often, particularly women, there's this like, when I get there, when I lose the weight, I'll be happy. When I fix this, I'll be happy. And it's like, no, it's like the wrong way around. You've got to flip it on its head.
Yes.
And it can be really hard when you're so desperate and you're really feeling like you're just trying to make progress, and you're not. But you are like, that's the perfect example of it, because you've just come in and things just started dropping in for you. You're like, oh my God. And there was times where it was hard, and there was times that you like went a little AWOL, or you came back, or things didn't go to plan, and then you come back, and then slowly we kept like chipping away at it. And then you were like, oh, I think I get it now. And then I said, oh, by the way, how much weight have you lost? And you're like, oh yeah, I've like lost all this weight. And it wasn't even part of the conversation. Because we were just busy working on you and looking at you as a whole person, and treating, not talking about it, feeling it, working through. And this is where the emotional work comes into, which is what I do, is working on the root cause. And a lot of those are our nervous system and traumas, and the way our nervous system responds, because stress plays such a big role in our health. So it's been really awesome to watch. My question for you is, where would you think you would be if you hadn't have done this? Where would you be now if you hadn't have done this work?
I would say when I came to you, I was pretty desperate. And at the time in my head, I thought I was desperate around just being unhappy and thinking that losing weight was going to make me happy. And the thing I loved the most about working with you was that I felt so comfortable, and I felt like I could trust you so easily. And that's a big deal for me. I'm not someone who trusts easy, and I'm not someone who just, jumps into these things. I'm very suspicious, and I like to take my time to feel good about it. And I felt comfortable with you very quickly. And I feel like that desperation that desperate place I was in, you were able to pick up on that very early on, and you worked with me every week on where I was at, not where you wanted to be in your program or what you thought I should do next, but just where I was at. And that was so important and so valuable, because you did it with me in the right time. And we got there in the end to the other stuff that we wanted to deal with. And, but for me, the big focus was around regulating myself, and it was around managing my body and learning about my feelings and getting me to value myself. And it took maybe longer for me than it did for other people, but that's where your work was so valuable, is just picking up on that and knowing what pace I had to go at and what I needed each week. Without that, I really feel like I would have been at a point where I probably would have had some pretty damaged relationships. I probably would have been spiraling into a bit more negativity and self-doubt, and, you know, really not being able to enjoy my life the way I am now.
Beautiful. Yeah, so nice. Yeah, awesome. So if someone's watching this and they're thinking about booking in, and they're sitting on the fence, what would you say to them?
I would say that they have to talk to you. They have to have one session and just listen. Be open to learning something new. Be open to trying it. And even if it's something really new and at first you feel a little bit uneasy with it, give it a go. When it's one-on-one, you know, it's only you watching me. I'm not going to, it's not going on show, and, you know, there's no one else there watching. And to have that freedom, to have the opportunity to be able to just open myself up, it was amazing. It was so amazing. And I don't think everyone's very comfortable with that or familiar with that. And yeah, I think they should give you a call, have a go, have a session with you, and just listen and be open to it.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks. Thank you, Christine. I really appreciate it. And it's been a real, just been so amazing, awesome fun working with you and watching you progress and watching all the stuff, the magic unfold, and you work through it. And just I'll give you credit, you showed up for yourself. Like, you really did. You were like, all right, let's do it. We're doing the work. I've done so many other modalities, but you just dived in and you did do it. And that's what I really admire about you. You were like, all right, let's just do it. Let's go. So if you're watching this and you're struggling with your health and you're really missing that vitality, and you've tried a million different things and you're just sort of feeling, it can be really frustrating, just book in a session to have a chat with me. I offer a free 15-minute health assessment where we can have a chat, so you can just see if we're the right fit before we go any further, because, you know, it's got to be the right fit for you if you are looking for help, and you've got to find the right person, and then we'll go from there. So thank you so much, Christine. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.